Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I publish on Rumble, extra support around here, and I'm on Twitter's X, doing some stuff here and there. So we don't have a lot of hardware news, except for Steam Deck was able to be modded to support 32 gigabytes of basically LP DDR5 is like the same kind of configuration for consoles, I think. This kind of naming scheme. It's good to see that at least Steam Deck as a mobile console almost basically they managed to be very open regarding kind of almost modding. There is not for example, if you pick up an iPhone, the phone basically gets bricked, even to if you try to replace a screen or something like that, if it's not from an authorized repair shop or something like that. And the fact that this you can basically mod the Steam Deck and the console still works perfectly. It's good for the DIY community overall, because it allows you to tinker with it. Of course, everything at your own risk, but regardless, you can do that without trying to get around with kind of piracy stuff, like with software stuff. So it basically works as intended per se. Even though there has been some like competition, and mainly this competition, interestingly, it's basically from AMD iGPUs from their CPUs that sold the APUs. I should have totaled APUs. The power of processing enables this kind of consoles to be made, which is very good to see that they are basically on par with at least the PS5. It's better because PS5s and the Xbox, it's RDNA 2 kind of architecture on the graphic front, and I think it's Zen 2 or Zen 3. I'm not no, Zen 2, I think, because they are a little bit older. I think it's Zen 2 with RDNA 2, if not mistaken, for example the PS5 one, and the fact that you can put a Zen 4 CPU equipped with an iGPU over RDNA 3 technology, it's very good. It's excellent. Even though this is mainly for a ROG ally, I think the Steam Deck still has a RDNA 2, but still, as a handheld console, I think it's the offerings in the market are pretty good. But Steam has a very larger broad in terms of support, because it's integrated with Steam and all your library games there. Even though the other ones are pretty good in terms of performance, or you can be comparable. But yeah. And the fact that also Steam has like a scheme of official refurbishment program, which is basically people just return the like open box stuff, or even they get returned for repair of something. And the fact that it's so easy to repair, you can basically buy a refurbished one at discounted prices. Seems that the standard is around 350, but you can get like a small discount, which is always good. I'm not very much I think the last one that I had was from the Sega days. I don't remember. There was the Game Boy, and then there was the competition from Sega. I don't remember the name. I'm so sorry. I played a lot of Sonic, and also original Game Boy. I played like Super Mario stuff, Tetris, and all that stuff. That's basically the last time I played that handheld. I'm not very interested in that. I find it interesting, but for this kind of games, we have the cell phones, the free games and everything. It's like, but I don't play very much like mobile games. I tend to prefer PC gaming, and my second preference is console. In some games, not all of them, because if there is if the games are available on the PC platform, I prefer to play them on PC. But yeah. And this aspect, the fact that the modding activities is like the SSD storage, I think that you can similarly replace with a better display. and even like software, because it's Windows based or Linux based. I think the games are run in Linux, if not mistaken. The fact that they can disassemble basically the Steam Deck, and basically they upgraded for the double of memory. Of course, this involves a very technical process, which is like the reballing, which is you have to desolder the memory chips here, and then you have to clean everything. I saw some videos from GPU stuff, and basically is then you have to it's an intricate process. You have to put the chips there again, but you have to reball, which is like the soldering points are like little balls there, and it's an intricate and complex process that you have to. They are like at least dozens of contact points between the board and the memory chips, and it's a very intricate process. You have like some stuff that you have to put on the chip, so you can check if all the soldering points are okay, and then you need to solder again on the board itself. So basically what they do is replace the chips with higher capacity ones, and that to a certain degree, in terms of for example, I think Steam Deck supports of course if it has access to the Steam Workshop, you can put mods, and that usually has the necessity of bigger memory to handle all usually the texture mods, and sometimes even gameplay mods. There are a lot of stuff that needs the VRAM and or RAM to be on the background processing a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's good to see that it can be made without any issues. Unfortunately, there is no benchmarks if it is like a huge improvement or not regarding this, so people have an idea if the next Steam Deck will come, like version 2, if there is any kind of worth upgrading to a better capacity in terms of memory here. But yeah, it's good to see this. Just a quick note, even though it's not for me, at least not aimed for me, because I'm not very much in handheld platforms here, but it's good to see that there is kind of an open platform to a certain degree regarding modding this stuff. But yeah, regarding gaming deals, we got some better news here. Supposedly Ratchet Clank, it's not usually the kind of game that I usually play too much, even though I know the franchise, and I think it's very well known, and I think it's pretty good in terms of the story and everything. But at least AMD managed to make an update regarding ray tracing support on this game. It's like a special update from what I understood, so the driver should be updated so it can handle ray tracing, even though again ray tracing even at this point is not depends on the game a lot. If it is a game that can where the ray tracing doesn't have like a huge impact in some performance and frame rates, I don't see especially depending on the kind of games, I don't see the advantage of having a huge performance hit to lowering frame rates and even kind of like frame times and everything, so game be more smoother. Usually if you have good enough hardware, I don't think it compensates this kind of thing, especially on the mainstream hardware that we have. Usually the ray tracing doesn't help out any better, because we are playing usually 1080p, maximum 4040p, and the fact that usually, I think from what I understood, ray tracing you can see the benefits of ray tracing if you're playing in higher resolutions because of the effects itself and how the ray tracing works in terms of illumination and everything. I think it works better on higher resolutions. But yeah, at least we have the patch, so the game should not crash anymore when you enable ray tracing on Radeon GPUs. We got excellent news. Lies of P. I always confuse this with a pie. Lies of P is gone gold. They managed to get an official Twitter post or X post or Xing, and it's on track. Sorry, to release on September 19. It's going to be a busy month. Also September, we got Starfield like 6 September. Then 2 weeks we got this excellent Bloodborne-esque kind of game. But yeah, it's one of those that you should wishlist. I will put the link on the Steam page. I'm not sure if you have still the demo playable there. There was they mentioned here the demo. I remember the demo being available. I'm not sure if it's still available, and I assume that the progress will not be transferable. I'm not sure, depending on what the state was of the main game. When the demo was launched, like similar to Baldur's Gate 3, there was the early access, and of course there was a lot of time between the early access and the final game launch. But I think it's still there, the demo. You can try it out when after clicking the Steam page there. I'll leave the link in the description. And lastly, we got here Atlas Fallen review. It's not seems. The best game, of course. I didn't have like high expectations. The style of the game was not didn't caught my attention too much, so I didn't cover too much this game. But yeah, there is here the review from Fextralife. I usually like their reviews are very on point. Usually, from I've been following them for a long time. They go about everything. They have the video there. If you don't have the time to read the article, but they go through the story and setting. The story seems a little bit bland, so not much I don't know, not much imagination is left for the story. The gameplay seems the better part of the game, and the combat here, and how the gameplay mechanics and the loop of enemy stuff, the momentum mechanic here, the armor and this essence stuff here that they put here in terms of mechanic. It works with the momentum on how you activate this stuff. Seems pretty interesting. Not a lot of enemy variety from what I understood, but yeah, seems pretty okayish. In terms of audio visuals and performance, seems pretty good. I don't think there is nothing worth mentioning that is negative here. Seems pretty positive. The replayability, I think it's non-existent, basically, and the price point from their final thoughts, it was $10 off the price. I think it's priced around, I'm not sure if it's $39.99 or $49.99. No, it's priced at $39.99. There it is. It's the much better price here. It's priced at $49.99. My God, $50. The better price here for the experience that you might get. It's $40 is the better value here. So they consider you for to wait for a price drop on the game. It's passable, as you can see. The better part here is the gameplay here, and the audio visual and performance is pretty decent. It's on par basically with the gameplay here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting too much. Even their other games that they Deck 13 launched, the Surge and Surge 2, the gameplay and the combat mechanics were the better part of of those games. So yeah, in terms of performance, they always behave pretty normal, pretty okayish. No bugs, nothing worth mentioning. But yeah, usually the story and the fact that the inspirations are so on the nose to a certain degree, that people compare a lot with the inspirations instead of make it their own to a certain degree. But yeah, it's a passable one. Wait for a discount if you're interested in playing this one. At least it is the recommendation from Fextralife. And lastly, we got here, it's kind of a gaming news. It's supposedly on oh my god, Game Bundle, which oh my god, Humble Bundles, sorry, I freeze there, my brain. You can get all the Resident Evil games here for $35 basically. There is no like menu to pick and choose, you know. There is certain bundles here that they are selected for stages here. So the more you spend, the better the games are, or the more the recent games are. So there is like one of $5 as the older games here, but this one has some the last to the highest as the basically Resident Evil 7, some of the remakes. There is no Resident Evil 4 remake one, of course. They are not going to do, I don't think, until at least the Halloween, which is usually the horror game stuff. I don't think they're going to do a discount until then. But the biggest one, $35, you get all of them. The remakes, I think even the original ones, Until Village. I think it's all the games. It's like 12 games or something. Yeah, 12 games. So basically, it's all the games. I think, I'm not sure, and plus some discount on the Village. Like deluxe edition upgrade, like 20% off, something like that. I'll leave the links. This is a $20 bundle. It has basically everything except the 8. The $35 is the better one. It has the Resident Evil 8 also Village. I don't see it here. 50 Revelations. Yeah, it is the 35 one. Brings you the Village one also, and has the Winter's expansion kind of 20% off on that. And I think this is redeemable on Steam, if not mistaken. Yeah, I will. In this article, there is here the links here, so I leave it there for you to check out. And the remaining gaming deals, we still have Midnight Suns, 60% off, Digital Plus Edition. We got also System Shock until the 14th, if you want to try out the demo first before you buy it, even though I think it's a very excellent remake here from all the reviews that I saw. We still have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game until the 5th, 70% off, which is a good price here. Seems pretty good game, especially the story and the combat here. We got also Prey, one of the most underrated games in the last few years, at least last 10 years, basically. Pretty good. If you never played this one, try not to get spoiled, because there are some twists here and there that are pretty good. If you don't know anything about the game, it's better to play without checking anything. It's an immersion sim. You can be very creative on how you're going about the challenges that are on the levels here, how to go about it. 75% off, pretty good. I think the Digital Deluxe Editions is the better one. It has the DLC and the Moon Crash content there. I think it's pretty decent here. Also, we got Dredge indie game, overwhelmingly positive, very Lovecraftian. The story, the mechanics, the survivability stuff there seems pretty good. 25% off. I think it's well worth it. It's a shame that it doesn't have like a demo here for people to try out, but it's pretty good. I don't justify I think you don't need a demo to know that it is a very good game. Everybody that plays basically likes very much this game and supports the indie scene. And we got also the Evil Within franchise, which is only 2 games. This is available until the 16th, so it's 75% off the first one. I made a series. It's pretty decent. The performance can be a little bit hit or miss on PC, but the story, it gives you some foundation for the second one. If you don't want to get bothered playing this game, I made a gameplay series on this one, covering the story and a lot of side activities. And lastly, we got Evil Within 2, also 80% off, so $6. Doesn't have DLC, the game, so it's good. It's very different on at least the approach they went. So it's less linear, a little bit more big open areas. In terms of combat and everything, very different how they're going about it. The side activities are more interesting, and the story, it's what kind of it's nothing revolutionary, but it's interesting. The concepts they are trying to be put here, and I think this franchise could continue. I think it's well worth the effort of continuing with this franchise. And basically that's it for today, guys. I will wrap up with my GoFundMe for me to upgrade my PC to get better, more content for my private clients, and start doing some video stuff for them, of course, besides of the writing content that I'm be doing. And in my free spare time, doing the daily videos with better quality, resume my gameplay series, doing some scripted content here and there, and some stuff that I like to talk about, and possibly doing some live streams in the future. And yeah, basically that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, Kunamy Master out.